My parents always wanted me to do law. They're like, oh, you'll be a great lawyer, you're so good at arguing, you're so good at this. But I did legal studies and at school and I loved it, but I was like, could I be a lawyer? No. I think the first step is figure out what you actually enjoy. Like at school, there's often so many things you enjoy, like, oh yeah, I really like that science topic, but I also really like that history topic and whatever. So actually, I think sort of compiling in your head or on paper a list of what actually intrigues you and what you'd want to spend hours reading about and researching. And I was sort of thinking about that and I was like, I spend most of my time on news pages and Facebook and just reading and talking about politics and international affairs and war and history and stuff like that. So I was like, oh yeah, this makes sense. Because for years it was like, my parents always wanted me to do law. They're like, oh, you'll be a great lawyer, you're so good at arguing, you're so good at this. But I did legal studies and at school and I loved it, but I was like, could I be a lawyer? No. So I was sort of like process of elimination in a way, and then being like, okay, this is what I want to do. It might be a bit different, a bit more abstract to what everyone else sort of expects of me, I guess, but sort of being like, okay, this is what I want to do, this is what I am interested in. So yeah, I guess sort of figuring that out for yourself and, you know, read about things, read about the courses, read about the units you do, and as well, I guess, sort of see where you might end up on the other side. You know, for me, it's like I could go work at the UN, I could work with charities, I could work on the ground in like peacekeeping sort of situations, which is all the stuff I'm interested in and want to do. Whereas I look at a law degree, it's like, lawyer. No. So yeah, I guess sort of for any students in year 11 and 12, really figuring out what you're interested in, because at the end of the day, it's your life sort of that you're committing to more or less. So figuring out if you actually want to spend 10, 20, 30 years or whatever in that sort of field, and yeah, see if it's worth it for you. Yeah, I figured out in my head, this is what I like, this is what I'm interested in, and then sort of started talking to people at my school and just doing a lot of my own reading. And I was like, okay, Sydney has this degree, UNSW has this degree, ANU has this degree, and then emailing people, reading their websites. Open Days was actually a really good experience in sort of finding out more about the degrees and what I wanted to do. So I went to Sydney Uni, was chatting to different people there, you know, before and after the ATARs came out, and it was like, okay, this sounds really cool, this is interesting, there's so many opportunities here, there's so many things I enjoy. So I guess, yeah, definitely going to the source and seeing what they actually have to offer you, because as well, like any degree really will be different at different unis. Like Macquarie's international relations and Sydney's are quite different. So I, you know, went to both and was like, okay, Sydney is more what I want to focus on, whereas Macquarie had a different sort of focus, which would be great for someone else, but for me it was like, no, Sydney's more suited for me. So yes, figuring out the differences between the courses as well, between the different unis.